The new era for the Chicago Bears officially started today as Kevin Warren officially took over his role as team CEO and president. We're going to break it all down, what was said in the conference, what it means for the Bears and this upcoming offseason. We're getting into it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, and so one of the biggest themes to come out of this press conference with Kevin Warren was just how much it seems like he appreciates the opportunity, how much drive he has to do well, how much he wants to ingratiate himself with the Chicago Bears fan base. And he said something in this that was just powerful, is that greatness is ahead of us. Now, you never expect anyone assuming into a new role in any sports to come in and say, oh, well, we're going to try. We'll see what we can do. You always expect the type of energy and things, but like the way that Kevin Warren delivered this, his first time speaking publicly to the Chicago Bears fans, it felt me with a different type of energy. I won't lie. For an organization that has been basically the same my entire lifetime, the whole 36 years I've been on this planet, it really feels different. And we talked about this since we started the show last season. Like, this felt already kind of like a new era for the Chicago Bears. A quarterback, a GM with focus and drive. And then you add into now hiring a new team CEO and president in Kevin Warren, and it just left so much to be desired, but I can only do it so much justice. Let's let the man's words speak for themselves.
Think about the fans every day. So when I went to the Bears and Eagles game during the season, like I said, I purchased tickets online. I parked in a parking lot. We walked to the game. I sat in the stands. And the reason why I did that, I wanted to get a sense for what the fans felt. And the thing that jumped off the plate to me was the fact that I saw 80 and 90-year-old fans with 5 and 6-year-old fans. So that tells me you got the history and the tradition, but you have the future there. And they're passionate. I mean, the way the players play, they were making plays, they were hitting to the very end, they're running to the ball. I mean, those are all the things that I just wanted to view in the field. I hadn't been, I mean, when you think about this is silly, but it's been almost 30 years since I started working with Chris that I had gone to a game as a fan. I mean, because you're working, people think, isn't it fun? I'm like, game day is stressful. No, it's not. Don't get us wrong. And I had never been to Soldier Field, this Soldier Field as a fan. The last time I had been in Soldier Field was with Chris's agent to be able to sit there. Every time we come here, we land, we come on the bus, we go in the tunnel, we go in the locker room, we go upstairs or on the field. You don't get a chance to feel it. And that's one of the things I was really impressed with, the energy that Coach and Ryan had brought to the table. Those players were playing. People were excited. And I even remember the play that when Justin broke loose and ran up the sidelines, it was called back. But the energy that was there, and to hear Bear Down being played and all of those kind of things. So I think Chicago, I've said it before, these are the best fans in the NFL. They deserve championships. We're going to bring championships. We're going to do everything that we possibly can to deliver that and work hard. But I love the passion and the energy. And even on the weekends, because we live downtown, after church, and we'll go have breakfast sometimes just to see, people in their jerseys and all that. I just said, there is so much history and tradition. And so there's an opportunity from an innovation standpoint, but the fans deserve to have a phenomenal game day opportunity and a great football team on the field.
That it's just so on point to just the level of understanding it seems like he knows about this Bears fan base already. That makes me feel good, right? Because we are a unique fan base within the NFL. We have a different way of looking at sports. The city of Chicago in general, we're a different sports city. And so now to have Kevin Warren there and in this position and just the different energy, like him even talking about the new stadium project and things like that. And, that's one of the best parts of it. And it's just his understanding of it. And he told a story about him coming to the stadium and buying tickets and walking to the stadium and just enjoying it as a normal fan. And that just goes to show you how much he wants to be a part of this Bears nation that we have in front of us. And so because of that, it absolutely feels different. And every once in a while, there's a reset, right? And while all the good feelings are going to be there now, all that stuff, we head into a time where it's a lot of new, just undiscovered territory for the Chicago Bears going into a new stadium. And that's one of the biggest things that came out of this. Them even saying, the McCaskey saying they're focused right now on Arlington Heights. Listen, it's happening. I get it. We saw the new mock-up of Soldier Field and put it in Dome of it, and it looked amazing. Don't get me wrong. But it was all a little too late. And bringing in Kevin Warren and him spearheading that project and everything, it just feels like the right time to lead the Chicago Bears into a new era. I know a lot of Bears fans want to see the McCaskey sell the team, and they ask that question all the time. This is the next step to that. And even finding out that how things are going to kind of outline, like Ryan Poles has basically full autonomy when it comes to the football team side of things, the team operations. But Kevin Warren is going to be that CEO who's going to lead the team in new directions and be it like with the new stadium and developments. And keep in mind, he's going to have a role as team CEO and president that even Phillips never had to do when you look at the Arlington Heights development and what that's going to mean, the restaurants, and the fact that the Bears own that land and everything that they build on, they're going to get a cut. This is a new unprecedented era for the Chicago Bears, and it seems like we have the guy to lead us into going into that promised land. And let's see if it's going to be and work out the way that we say that it is, or hope that it is. It starts now. And, I'm going to play a little bit more of his words here.
Many people have asked me, why the Bears? Why this time? It's because of the challenge, the opportunity. I trust Ryan. I trust Coach Matt that we're going to do things the right way. We're not going to take shortcuts. We're going to build an incredible franchise. I came here to win championships, to win the NFC North, to win the NFC, to win the Super Bowl, to help shepherd and lead a stadium development project, to embrace our alumni, to embrace our history and tradition, and to embrace the absolutely incredible Chicago Bear fans. That's why I'm here. We will continue to do it the right way. We will work hard. We will have fun. We will be diligent. We will be detailed. We will be methodical. We'll operate with integrity and honor at every step of the way. This is a special time in the NFL, but most of all, it's a special time for the Chicago Bears.
And the thing with the Bears, and the thing that I hope that Kevin Warren understands, is that Chicago fans hold on. When you say things like greatness awaits, when you say things like we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, and you have these powerful statements, Bears fans aren't going to just forget that. We're not going to overlook that 5 years down the road if we're not there. You talked about the goal is bringing championships here to Chicago, not just being the NFC champion. That's what we deserve. And as a Bears fan base, we've asked so long. The Bears are one of the most profitable organizations in the NFL, and it's time to start putting that into practice. So yeah, I get it. The focus is Arlington Park and what Kevin Warren's going to be on that. But at the end of the day, it's this. This Bears team is going into new territory. We are heading into some of one of the best times to be a Bears fan and one of the most unprecedented times because we're heading to an area where we don't know. And there's so much that's just built around to make the Bears the storyline of the offseason, and to have a guy like Kevin Warren there and that takes pride in his leadership, that takes pride in winning, that wants to be a bigger part of that as anybody else on that field. That's what we like. Like Ted Phillips, don't get me wrong, he's done some great things for the Bears organization. And, when you're in that role, it has to be more about business than worrying about the little X's and O's things, right? But leading this franchise into a new area, Kevin Warren's going to have a huge impact of that. And this was a great step. The fact that he said he's not afraid to shake things up. What have we needed here? With the Chicago Bears for so long, people outside, they call us a poverty franchise, right? And that's understandable. As much as I hate hearing that when it's associated with my team, and I understand it. But the fact that he's not afraid to shake things up, the fact that it just seems like a new energy around this, as it should. How much is he really going to shake things up? How much is it going to be that he, and the first one being hired from outside the organization as well. He has a lot of eyes on him. The whole city of Chicago's watching him. Every member of Bears Nation, both in Chicago, out of Chicago, is watching him. The McCaskeys damn sure are watching him as well. And his responsibilities that were laid out is this in the press release. Warren will oversee General Manager Ryan Poles, and all business operations for the club. The most pressing issue that awaits Warren when he starts official team business in April is guiding the Bears in their construction of the new stadium, even putting that in the press release. So while I know it's going to bring some ushering the Bears kind of out of Chicago into Arlington Park is one thing, but guess what? This new ground that the Chicago Bears are breaking, this new area and new territory that we're going into, everything that's happened in this offseason is just a first step in a bigger plan for that. When you look at the impact he had on the Big Ten, when you look at the impact that he's had working in other organizations in the NFL, hey, listen, it's going to be fun, and hopefully we got fun and a successful run ahead of us of just everything new going on with this franchise, man. This is one of the best times to be a Bears fan. We've been saying that all offseason, and I mean that. This has been super fun just to see what Ryan Poles has done. Even the Bears have been losing, but at the end of the day, it's this. We're on a new trajectory, and he's going to be the one, him, Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus. Those are the leaders right now of where the Bears go on the field, off the field. Everything revolves around what the decision that these three people make. And they have the keys to our franchise. They have the keys to our future. They have the keys to developing what is going to become, hopefully, the next great Chicago Bears team, and us see new heights in the organization overall. So that's it. I wanted to come back with that. I know I dropped the episode earlier today, and then we got C-Dubs. Make sure you guys also check out C-Dubs' top 5 free agent targets he would like to see the Chicago Bears go after. But listen, this is an exciting time to be a Bears fan, man, and I can't stress that enough. Now, before we do that, we got to get into some actual Bears news if it's going to be a daily episode. And Braxton Jones, we're going to go to Braxton Jones, one of the people that I think me and Bobby both gave a B, I believe, in our rookie grades. He was interviewed and he said this: I want to be that guy. I want to put in the work in the offseason to be that guy and to be a cornerstone for this organization. I feel like obviously I've got a lot of work to do, but personally, in the way I try to act around the building, I want to be here as long as possible, and I feel I could be a cornerstone for that left tackle position. So I definitely think I got to get obviously a lot better in certain situations. The level of awareness from Braxton Jones on that is huge. And yes, Braxton Jones absolutely can be a cornerstone. I don't know if he can be the cornerstone, but again, that just maybe me being pessimistic on just not wanting to annoy anybody anytime soon. But Braxton Jones showed a lot. He showed some things. He showed some growth, some negative areas. And I do think that, and as me and Bobby said, that he has shown enough at least to earn that starting spot. Unless you upgrade it considerably, I think Braxton Jones is and should continue to be a starter on the Chicago Bears offensive line. Now, we'll end up seeing what it turns into, but I love the mindset of a player. But again, as I even said with Kevin Warren, what do you expect somebody to get in front of a mic and say the wrong things? But it is good that he does have that mindset, and he's going to put in the work, and that's going to be evident in what he's going to do. We'll be able to see growth and development from him, and we'll hear it over the course of the offseason, but we'll be able to see it, hopefully with a drastically improved team, what impact you have. But young fella, I'll tell you this, you want to be the cornerstone, you put words like that out there, we're going to hold you accountable to it as well. Let's see if you continue to do it. Now, before we go, I want to take a look at the Chicago Bears free agents and talk about who, if any, the Bears should bring back. I know we have a lot of cap space. We need drastic improvements in a lot of areas of this team, but we have about 30 free agents on this team. Most of them, I don't worry about coming back, but there are a few that I do want to ask and see how you guys feel on it. First one I want to bring up is Byron Pringle, 29 years old. He had talked and said everything right in the offseason, and me and us on this panel here on this podcast were kind of hopeful that he was going to make somewhat of an impact. Byron Pringle went on to do a lot of nothing really in the NFL. Now, again, a lot of that can be said to the fact that we didn't pass the ball a lot. We just didn't. Justin Fields didn't pass it a lot. He didn't make the best decisions when passing all the time either. And Byron Pringle was hurt for a while too. But when you look at it, you have to ask, are you spending the money to bring Byron Pringle back? And what I hope is that we make enough improvements on this offensive line. We've already given an extension to Equinami and St. Brown, so I kind of think that points in the direction of where we're going with that. I, unfortunately, unless some things happen, I don't see Byron Pringle coming back. I know a lot of people may agree or disagree with that one, but that's how I feel. The next one up that I want to talk about is Nicholas Morrow, who didn't play amazingly. He played downright horribly in some games, but I'll say this. There's enough of Nicholas Morrow to me to where I would like to bring him back in a reserve role depending on what he's willing to get paid. He got paid $3 million last season. I don't know if I necessarily see him getting that again, but maybe he will. But we here at Chicago Bears Central want to see that front seven improved overall. Nicholas Morrow is somebody who, like I said, maybe can come back on a team friendly deal, but we'll see. Next one up is N'Keal Harry. Now, this is one of the biggest ones. The Bears traded a seventh round pick for N'Keal Harry, so not really giving up a lot. But when you look at him, former first round pick, 25 years old, again, another one at that wide receiver position. It really depends on what else the Bears do at the wide receiver. But N'Keal Harry, a big target, somebody who showed some potential. I think N'Keal Harry gets a chance to come back, but I don't know. He may be on the opening preseason roster, but I'm not necessarily guaranteeing that N'Keal Harry comes back on the roster big time in a big way. Like he may be on the preseason roster, but he may not be on the opening day roster, if that makes sense. Anyway, Ryan Griffin, if we do bring a veteran back, I would like to see Ryan Griffin back. I like his mentorship, like some of the things that he said. We'll see with that one. Next one up is Dante Pettis. That's been a big question. 27 years old. Dante Pettis showed some flashes as well, but much like with most of the wide receivers on this list, I just don't see all of them coming back. Maybe one out of the three of him, N'Keal Harry, and Byron Pringle come back. I could be wrong on that. I wouldn't mind seeing Pettis come back. It's just when you have to look at it, if it comes down between kind of my selections between N'Keal Harry and Dante Pettis, I'm going to go N'Keal Harry. I mean, just because he's a little bit younger. But I wouldn't be mad if it was Dante Pettis who ended up getting that. Again, not sure if he's going to be on the final roster, but that's one. Biggest one on here is David Montgomery. He's the biggest one on here, 25 years old, has the chance to get the most money. Here's what I'll say. As long as David Montgomery is willing to take a reasonable deal, if he's not out to get like Roquan type money, like position setting money, I think David Montgomery comes back. When you look at the Bears, one of the best things that we had this season was our running game. I think they bring back that 1-2 punch of him and Khalil Herbert, and then they just work it out. I think the money's going to work out. I think David Montgomery also wants to stay here. I think he's going to be motivated. He's going to get a hell of a raise either way, in my opinion. His salary was not that much last season, so I do think he's going to have a chance to come back. He's going to get a hell of a raise there, though. Next one up before we go is that I want to talk about here is the fullback, Kahari Blasingame. Used very well in the blocking game, didn't get to run the ball too much. The block was made about the Bears having their first real fullback for a while. I think it's safe to say that he comes back as well. I think it's going to be another cap-friendly deal, team-friendly deal. It's going to be probably more towards the back end of free agency, but I think that. I know we have a lot of other free agents. We have Armon Watts, Blackson, who I don't think is going to come back. I didn't miss in Mustapher. I didn't miss in Riley Reef because I think all those guys are gone. Dane Cruikshank is another one. A question there, 27 years old at that cornerback position. I'm not too sure he comes back either. But let me know down below. What free agents do you think are going to come back? Who do you think is going to go? Are there any ones that I did not mention that you want to hear talked about? Let me know all that down below. But that is it for today's episode of Chicago Bears Central. I'm skipping ahead. Make sure you're following the show at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Last, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related because of you guys. Like I like to end every episode on, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.